This will be a short video on how to wire your BendPak XPR 10 ASLP lift. I'm sure this wiring demonstration will probably work with most any BendPak or any other brand for that matter lift. But this particular example I'm going to show you, it is on the XPR 10 ASLP. This wiring demonstration or wiring for this particular lift was done with the oversight of a professional commercial electrician with approximately 40 years experience in the industry. Okay, for my particular shop, the way I wired it in, I ran my 220 through this conduit, 2 legs of 110 power each, of course, makes 220. I pulled it down. I also, in this conduit, I tapped in and pulled down a neutral leg and a ground leg from this light switch, this light power, to come down. So the reason being is I wanted to add this handy little box on the side of my control here, my handy little 110 plug. So to recap that real quickly, I've got 220 power run down. I've also got a neutral leg and a grounding leg or wire pulled in off of my lights out of this conduit and all run down in this conduit here together. Okay? BendPak does provide an owner's manual for this particular lift. The wiring diagram and instructions to some may be easy to understand. For me, I'm a do-it-yourselfer, not a professional electrician. It was kind of frustrating trying to sort out what wires went where, what color goes where, etc. So I hope this helps. All right, let's start up top with our over limit switch. Your over limit switch is mounted in this box. You'll use 2 screws that are supplied with the lift to mount the switch in the box. As you can see, it's mounted to the side. There is a plastic cover that is supplied with the lift that sits on top of this, and it has a hole in one end of it in which you will run your cable through, your wire through that hole, pull it through, and make your connections on the switch. The wire comes through from the top. This wire is what I call a J cord. It has 4 wires in it: white, green, red, and black. For this particular application, you will not use the white and green up here. You'll use the red and black only. Bring them in, feed them down through the hole in the plastic on the little cover. For my application, I took and crimped on 2 eyelets, one for the red, one for the black wire. All right, the black wire will go on top of the over limit switch. Has 3 connections available on top. It has a normally open, which will be sometimes listed as NO, normally closed, which of course will be NC, and then COM, which means common. The black wire goes under the common. The red wire will go under normally closed, I believe. Whichever, the black wire goes in the common on one end, the red wire goes on the total opposite end under that one. I believe it will be normally closed. The middle will be left empty. The white wire, put a twist cap on it, coil it up and put it out of your way. The green wire, put a twist cap on it, coil it up, put it out of your way, put this cover on. Black to common, red to, I believe, normally closed. It's whichever one is on the opposite end of the switch from the common. The black wire is the common. The red wire will be in, I'm almost certain, normally closed. I don't want to take this down to verify, but just know it's the one that's not on the end with the black. The black will be common on one end, the red will be, I believe, normally closed on the other. Be very sparing with this wire, that J cable, because BendPak sends you just barely enough cable to make the connection. Frankly, if I had to do over again, I would go to the hardware store and get a piece of wire about 1 foot longer a piece of J cable about a foot longer to make these connections a little simpler, a little easier. All right, you've got your J cable that comes in from your over limit switch with those 4 wires. This is your 220 power that comes in. Also, I added in a neutral leg and a grounding leg from my lights up top just to be able to get this box working, because I'm going to get the 110 power to run this box. I'm going to borrow it off of one of these 110 legs that I come in to bring to run this motor. You got to have 220 power to run this motor, which is 2 110 legs of electricity, 2 110 sources together. 110 and 110, of course, is 220. All right, here's how I hooked this thing up. I added a grounding lug in there for me. I did that on my own. It's not supplied by BendPak, but I think it's a superior way to ground. So everything I used only a grounding lug. It all goes there right into there. All right, just to be clear on that. Let's start with this J cable right here. Again, it's got 4 wires in it. The white wire, I twist cap, put it out of the way. The green wire that comes in with it, run it down to your ground. I used that grounding lug. The black wire that comes in with that will hook in to what BendPak says is wire number 7, which runs back into your motor. That is the black wire from the J cable. Will go into wire 7 into the motor. Your red wire out of the J cable comes down, hooks into wire number 3, which is this light on it, normally open. Okay, normally open, the middle. That one goes up to the red wire out of the J cable. So your black, wire 7 into the motor. The red, wire 3 down to the switch. This is the back side of the switch to operate the machine. Like I said, that red wire goes to wire 3 into the back there. The white goes to nothing. You get the camera up, the white goes to nothing. The green, of course, is ground. I put it in that grounding lug. That's all 4 wires out of the J cable from up top. Next, we're going to go down to your 220 power that comes in. Your wires may be slightly different color. This is how I ran mine. Again, I used a wiring harness for my entire building. It was not very conventional, but for my particular application, it worked out great. You will have 2 110 legs of power to come in to your motor. I'm not going to explain to you how to wire a 220 breaker to bring power over here. You need to look up a separate video if you're not sure how to do that. They're out there. Okay? Take one of your 110 legs of power that comes in, put it with wire number 5, I believe it said, wire 5, which is your white wire that runs back up into your motor. It gets a 110 leg of power all into itself. Take your other 110 leg, bring it over and hook it into wire number 9. Wire number 9 is your common on the back of your switch. If you elect to put this 110 receptacle on, you're going to need 110 power to run that. I borrowed that 110 power out of this one leg of 220. Again, these two together make 220. They're 110 apiece. I'm only going to use one leg of that for my 110 power. Took a piece of 12-2 Romex cable, pulled the grounding wire out of it, the naked copper wire. I didn't need it because I made my grounds down here with this lug. Borrow that 110, so I will have 110 leg of power, 110 going to the plug, and then the other 110 going down here again to wire 9, which is common on the back of this switch. If you choose not to put your plug on here, you will be without this wire. You'll only run that 110, will only go down to common on the switch by itself. Okay, so that's 110 here to the white, 110 here to the black. You'll remember earlier I told you I had to bring a common and a neutral and a ground down for my lights because you got to have a neutral, a common, and a ground to run this 110 plug. The 110 I'm borrowing from right here close. I didn't need to run a wire for it because I'd already run one for my 220. But I do need this little 110 common wire. So I spliced in up top for my lights, brought the white wire down and a green wire to make my circuit for the block, for this box. So the white wire that comes in from up top, bring it over, run it into the back of your receptacle. The green wire from up top out of your lights or any other power 110 power source that you have, bring it down and ground it out. Okay, and in the back of this box, back of this receptacle will have gold screws on one side, silver screws on the other. You'll only have two wires coming into the back of this, that black one and that white one that we borrowed from over here. The black one goes under the gold screw. The white one goes under the silver screw. Make sure that you make those connections on either one. It doesn't matter. There'll be two screws on either side. One down here on each side, one down here on each side. The gold ones will be on one side, the silver will be on the other. Whichever place you decide to connect, it's up to you, top or bottom. Put the black under the gold, the white under the silver, as long as they're on the same. You can't have black connecting to gold up here and white connecting to silver down here. You won't get it. You got to have your power on the same one. The green screw for ground, leave it empty. You won't need it. This box, when I bought it at Lowe's, was silver. This was silver. I mounted this to this using self-tapping screws and shorten them up where they're not protruding into the back of this box. I also opted to buy the 20 amp plug receptacle right here over the 15 amp. The 15 being more of a residential, the 20 being much more of a commercial, industrial grade plug. For the abuse that this thing will probably get over the years, I opted to get the 20 amp commercial grade plug here. All right, that's how I wired mine up. I've got a 30 amp breaker over there. Once I turn my breaker on, the lift will have power. It should operate. Any questions? Put them in the comments. I hope that this brief explanation made sense and will help somebody out there. Again, double check your codes where you live. Double check your wiring. This is what I did for mine. It works perfectly. I hope this helps you get your lift up and running. Good luck.